Chapter 16 homework. Look, it's still me. Chapter 16 homework. Okay. This one's going to take a little bit of work on your part. As you can see here, I still have up on the screen what I had just done seconds ago for chapter 12. Let me go ahead and Control Z out of all this. Come on. I guess I might be faster to just, look, I did so many misspellings. Okay, let me just do this. Delete. Delete. Okay. The first question in chapter 16 is 4B as in boy. Now check this out. I didn't ask you A. Here, I'm sorry. Let me pull the homework up on there. Oh, I can close that window now because that's got all the Dickey Fuller statistics. And here's chapter 16. Number 4, 4B. All right, now check out 4A first of all. Would you consider this to be a random assignment experiment data set, a natural experiment, or a panel data set? Explain. The answers to the even-numbered ones are in the back of the book. Let's have a look. This is a natural experiment data set that also happens to be a panel data set, yada, yada. So, that's why I didn't assign A. B says, depending on your answer to part A, which I just told you, you just got to look in the back of the book and you'll find the answer to part A. Use the appropriate estimation technique to determine the impact of cigarette tax increases on the consumption of cigarettes. Okay, let's do some of that together here so that you can see what to do, because there's a command that you'll need to, I've mentioned it earlier, much earlier in the homework videos, but let me mention it again now because it's going to be particularly relevant. Let's see, so I've now done 12 homework videos in a row. Yeah, I'm kind of tired. Let's see, I don't need this anymore. That was from my Dickey Fuller stuff and my unit roots. Okay, this is consumption. And does John Harvey tell you which data set it is? No, he doesn't. That's terrible, John. Okay, well, we'll add that here in a second. This is chapter 16. It's data. Let's have a look. SIG. You know what? I'll bet that's it. Let's load that. I'm going to have a look to double check. Yep, that's exactly the data we have in the book. So that's the data set you want. It is SIG 16. And let me add that to the homework here. Let's see. Data set is SIG 16. Save. Okay. All right, now, it says you're going to do, according to the thing in the back, it's going to be a natural experiment, all right? Now, let me go back here to the, do I want to do that and show you that? I will. All right, chapter 16. That's this, the natural experiment one. So look back at the book, look back at your notes, and see the outcome, delta outcome treatment one is going to be the appropriate one to run. Now that creates a problem for us because, oh, don't need that either. We don't have the data in that form, all right? We have the independent variable, I'm sorry, the dependent variable, and which one is that? Let me look back at the regression here. Yeah, cigarette consumption in 2000 and 2006. Okay, we need to have the difference between 2000 and 2006, and we don't have that. We have 2000, we have 2006. So, what we're going to do is to generate a new variable. Generate, and what did I call it when I ran this thing? I think I called it SIGDIF for difference in cigarette consumption. Pardon me, the dog is barking at the door. He is a huge fan of econometrics and is particularly keen on natural experiments. So come on in, dog. Yeah, I called it smoke diff, all right? So, and I made it 2006 minus 2000. Okay, so I'm going to call it smoke diff equals, now remember it's case sensitive, smoke 2006 minus smoke, and of course I go in the tab thing, 2000. Command unrecognized. Oh, you don't need an R. Okay, well check this. I'm going to click on the number 2 up here and get rid of the R. Just generate. There it goes. Okay, so now I made a new variable, and hey, let's look up here in the data editor, and there it is, over here. That column right there, that last column is showing the difference between 2006 and 2000. Okay, now let's see, do I want to show you anything else or let you work the rest of it out yourself now? I know what you're thinking there at home. You're cheering for, show us the rest. But I'm trying to decide here. Let's see. I'm thinking I'm going to make you work the rest of it out because this is a fairly simple one, okay? And so if you look back here, the determination of the impact of cigarette tax increases, which is the variable tax, on the on smoking, all right? And that's it for that one. I'm not going to tell you anything else about it. Do you have to say anything about it after you run it? No. All you got to do is block copy the results, copy his picture, and then paste it in, and that's that one. Oh, look, I have something wrong in the homework. I have that it's GENR. There must be some other program I've got where it's like that. Okay. And number 5. And number 5, if I may say proudly, is one where I caught a mistake in the book, or actually in the answer key. And on number 5A, all right, check this out. This is an interesting one. Let me come over here, and I'll walk over here and show you the data. You're going to have to type this in yourself, but there's not a lot of data. All right. Suppose you're interested in the effect of price on the demand for a salon haircut. That's kind of a big issue right now, isn't it? During COVID-19. And that you collect the following data for 4 U.S. cities for 2003 and for 2008. Now it says first, just run a regression for just 2003. Then run one for just 2008. Now do a fixed effects model on the combined data and compare your results with what you had in parts A and B. And that's really neat, okay? It's going to be a really nice, simple example of the advantage of the fixed effects model. I'm going to do a little bit of this with you, and then part D just says, what's your conclusion, which one works better, and it's going to be pretty obvious. Let me look back at where I've already run the regressions myself, and yep. Yeah, the bottom line is, and I think I will tell you this in advance, but the bottom line is you're going to get the wrong sign on the price coefficient when you do it just for 2000, what were the years? 2003 and 2008. But once you do the fixed effects model, once you do all 8 of these observations together, so what you're going to have to do, don't save. Let me pull up a Stata. Here's a clean one. And I think you're just going to have to do it 3 times. I think you're going to have to do, there's a faster way to do it, but it's more steps, and so I'd rather keep it simple. So we've got, oops, I'm sorry. NY. I don't think you can put a space probably in your variable names. He's brought in a piece of plastic that he's chewing on that's going to cause a huge problem with the sound in here. Buddy, can you step outside until we're done with number 5 here in chapter 16? May I take this from you and throw it? He had this. He's having a really good time with it, and I'm going to throw it outside the door now. Come on, buddy. Ready? Go! It's a very high probability that he will try to bring it back in here. Let's hope to get this question done before he gets too anxious outside the door there. Okay, so by the way, I don't think you can do the first city is New York. I don't think you can do probably an observation with a space in it. Oh my God. Here I am on the last homework set, and he's going to do this now. I'm not chasing you. All right, I'm going to have to do something mean here to the dog. I'm going to have to take this plastic thing away, which, as it turns out, is exactly what he wanted me to do because he wanted me to fight him for it. I won. Okay, you can have that back in a minute. All right? Nope, not right now. Okay. So, New York, and then what we got? Boston, Boss, and so on. Now, then you've got a column for year. 2 is going to be all 2003 here on the first one. And then a column for average price, 75, 50. That's not all of them. There's still 2 more cities. And then a column for per capita quantity, 1, like that. All right, so you would do that for all 4 of those observations right there. Then you would run just a simple regression with, on this first one, with per capita quantity as the dependent variable, whatever you called that. You could leave it as VAR4 if you want to. It doesn't really matter. Or you could put in your own name, as I've shown you before, and then the average price. So you run that, you block copy the results and paste it, and that's the answer to part A. For part B, you do the exact same things. You're gonna need to restart Stata and do this separately and do that one. Then for part C, you want to combine the 2. So if you have it, remember you can have multiple copies of Stata open at the same time. So actually, if you had 2 copies open, you can block copy the data from one and paste it into the data editor of the other. So you can have all 8 observations in a single Stata, instance of Stata. And then you want to run the fixed effects model, and I don't want to tell you how you do that, all right? I want you to figure that out yourself. I went over it in the video, and it's explained really well in the book. But you run the fixed effects model, and then once again, for all 3, you show the results like we always do, and then the last part is you say which one you like the best and why. And that's it. Thank you. I will now give the dog back his piece of plastic.